Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Talk to Them. I am your host, Kennitha Wade.
And I'm your other host, Renauda Mitchell.
And today we have
Shameika Davis.
All right.
Oh, okay.
We'll get into our... Man, it's been 2 weeks.
It has been 2 weeks.
Since we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a busy 2 weeks, too. I am tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. My week
Me
has been
too.
just kind of catching up on sleep and really trying to get back into the groove of things. Traveling for me, traveling is like, it's a lot of work.
Well, you went to 2 places, like got back from one and left for another.
I know. And then the time here was not relaxing at all.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my goodness. But I'm happy to be back home. I'm happy to sleep in my bed. And I was really looking forward to this weekend. The Sip and Paint was like the highlight for me. I had fun yesterday.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too.
I really want to do that like all the time.
Yeah. Well, I could do that every day.
Yeah.
I could do that every day.
Mm-hmm. But I'm inspired. So at the Sip and Paint, they asked me to make some more paintings to have ready. I'm like, okay, that's a good. I got all these canvases that are, almost there, but I haven't touched them in a long time. So maybe I'll work on finishing them up.
She's painting like 20 things at one time.
Have them ready next month so they can be displayed. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So my week's been good.
Dang, it feels like what happened last week.
Right.
But I can't really remember. Work has been hectic. People are tripping. And I had somebody like act like we was forcing them into doing some shit. And I was like, listen, you asked me for help. I gave you resources for your help. And now that you're in the middle of getting help, you want to be mad at me? I'm so confused. Anyway, yeah, so it's been a crazy work week. Last week and this week, because that stuff that was going on last week continued into this week. And I was supposed to be going to Chicago next week for a housing convention, but I'm not going to be able to go. After Renauda being in the hospital again recently. And then, the person who was supposed to keep my kids, their sister passed. So, like, it's just a lot of stuff that I just out of my control. It's just too much to try and re-navigate so close to that happening. But I was kind of looking forward for a break from my caseload, low-key. I'm just being honest. No, I can't do that. I need my paycheck. But, and I was like, I told my supervisor, like, when we get back from Chicago, I'm taking some days to myself. Like, I got to take some days off. I was like, because I'm about this close to burnout. And, my passion is helping people, you know what I'm saying? And being, helping them become whatever version of successful, they're looking to do. But sometimes when everybody in your caseload is in crisis, it can be a lot for you.
Yeah.
And not that I don't want to continue to do the work or like, I feel like it's going to break me, but I do need to separate because I feel like a lot of us in this field care so much when we're involved. No matter how much training you do and how much you, practice certain things that do help, with your boundaries and this, that, and the other, you're still invested in people's lives. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when it seems like if I have a caseload of 30 people and 28 are in crisis, that is going to affect me because the ripping and the running and the pulling in all the different directions or whatever. But, it is still my chosen career. But, yeah, and then got to this weekend, did the paint and sip. I really like how the setup is at Harlow for it. Yeah, and I liked, it was good. I liked we had a good time. We had a good vibe. We just chilled. And then reset the room and did Acting a Fool comedy show. And we had fun and we really enjoyed ourselves. We just talked about, and we'll get into that after we, so I'm gonna let you talk because that's gonna be a long story. But yeah, just it was real cool and wrapped up no later than we wrap up the mic because I was like, how long are we gonna be? In my head, we was gonna be out till 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I don't know what time I got home, but I came in the house, got some water, and went to bed. And I woke up this morning when I text you. But yeah, so I mean, but it was a good week, and now we podcasting the kickoff this week, like we normally do. It was busy, but good. How was your week?
Oh boy, my week was busy.
Mhm.
So, of course, I do my everyday food pickup for the community.
Mhm.
We just signed a new contract, so we pick up now every day.
Okay.
We just signed a new contract with Safeway. So, while some places is running out of food, we getting food. So that's always a plus, you know. And then the space that we are in is getting taken from us. So, of course, the excuse that they gave us was some BS, but at the end of the day, it's their space, you know, so only thing we can do is respect it. However, the city of Gresham showed up and showed out and was like, no, we got you. So this week we went and looked at 2 buildings. And honestly, I know that I got to pick one, but in reality, I want both of them.
Okay.
So it's like, hey, if we gonna do it, let's do it, you know? So that went really well. They're supposed to be sending us some more addresses to go look at. And a part of me is like, don't go look because you're going to want everything.
Right.
'Cause I know myself.
Yeah, you don't want all the buildings.
So, but I do. I want to really look and make a really good logical decision. Because I know at the end of the day, only thing I'm gonna think about is, what I can do for the community, you know. And instead of just saying, okay, you can't take all this on at one time. Just start and get one building, not 2, 3, 4. You know. So, we had that, and then yesterday was our egg hunt, which was really, really good. We had a lot of people show up. We had a lot of kids. It was this one little girl. She had the best personality ever. I just think it's so cute when kids start developing into themselves, you know? So that was always, I love working with the community. So that was always a good thing, you know? And sometimes it takes away from when you have those people on your caseload that is extremely difficult. And when you can just go and work with a bunch of kids, it's like, thank you. You know, this is who we doing it for. So that was good. And then last night I was beat. I was like, I don't want to see nothing. Turn all the lights off. Turn the TV off. Just leave me alone and let me be. But yeah, that was my week.
Okay, so tell us a little about who we are and what we're doing here, why you are, you know, doing the things that you're doing. You keep saying we do this and we do that, but for the people who don't know who we is.
What do you do in this space that you're about to get?
So I am Shameika Davis, and I am the CEO of Us First Oregon. I'm doing what I'm doing because I worked in nonprofit and I saw all the things that a lot of people don't see that I did not agree with. My husband and I, we both was homeless at a point, and you know, just trying to survive and get services is something within itself. A lot of work, case management people, they kind of make you feel bad about asking for help, you know, and they fail to realize that just to come forward to ask for the help is huge within itself. But then on top of that, to walk in there and then the people who is supposed to help you make you feel horrible about what's going on, it just makes you not want to do it, you know. But I was very determined to get out of my situation. So it took me about 10 months. I ended up finding a place. during that time, I got my rent paid for maybe 4 months. And the lady kept asking me like, "Oh, do you want me to keep paying your rent?" But I was like, "No, I got it." I just needed that extra boost. That was it. Like I didn't want to take advantage. It wasn't like that. I just needed to get on my feet. And then once I started working in the nonprofit, I felt at home. It was, for me, I'm such a community person. Like literally, I was up before anybody else was up at my job. I was there, I was always there. I was always figuring out something to do to help people. I think a lot of times, a lot of the people feel like, oh, they just gonna give up on me anyway, So you have to be that person to like keep going if that's what you really want to do. You just got to keep going and not give up on them because you may be the only person that really believe in them. So I just kept doing it, figuring things out. Went from one position. The first position I was in was a retention coordinator. And then I had got an offer to do, to train all the retention staff in all the agencies. But I didn't have the confidence at that time. So I was like, nah, I turned it down, which I should have said, yeah, but it wasn't my time, And so I ended up moving to the housing position, and that was my passion. You're supposed to house 25 people per fiscal year. I was housing 35 people per fiscal year. And then I had a stayed house rate at 96%. I think a lot of the times when people work with people in the agencies, the downfall is, you can get them. I can house somebody with my eyes closed. I don't care if you got 25 felonies. I can get you housed. It's nothing. The work is after you get them housed. And so I think that's where the slip up is within the agencies, is that work isn't getting done. Because if you do the work, there's no reason why that person is going to slip. Only time they're going to slip is if they have mental health issues. But if you're working with them for a year, that's when they should be in a stabilization place where you don't have to worry about that. So you're still completing and doing your job. So, or they're on drugs really bad. But once again, you can get them somewhere where they can be as long as they're ready. So after doing that and being in the housing position and just working with agencies, I kept seeing it over. It was like blatantly in my face, and I'm always a person where I don't want to see the negative, but when it's right there, you can't ignore it. It is what it is, So I just kept telling myself, like, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And it did not get better. It got worse. And the people who you was trusting, you no longer could trust anymore. And then you start seeing all the lies. Like, they would be on TV talking about, oh, we're housing this many people. And you'd be like, stop lying. Like, we ain't doing that, but anything to get a buck, right? So that's how it was. And so I went to my husband and I was like, you know what? We got to do something. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, we have to start a nonprofit. We just have to. And we're doing it all different. Like every single thing we're doing different. And so he's like, okay, let's put together this plan. So as I'm putting together the plan, he applying for the 501c3. And within 2 weeks, everybody was like, oh, it takes months. It takes almost a year. No, it doesn't. Within 2 weeks, we had our 501c3. From there, it just started going up. Like I created a Us First page. And the reactions that I was getting was like, okay, I didn't expect that, but okay, cool. Started bringing resources, started bringing our team together. I wanted all females on my team. And literally that's what we have. Only male that we have working with us. We have one male volunteer, and then we have my husband. The rest is all females. The rest is all African-American females. And it's all females that have been through a struggle because we understand. And nothing against the guys at all, but we just work differently. It's kind of like mama bear, and so that's what we're doing. We started off with resources, and we're getting to housing, we're getting to retention services, and we're going to do eviction prevention. We have a 4-year plan for retention services. I ain't going to go into it, but we got a 4-year plan for that. Everything that we're doing, that we're bringing, is totally different from what every other agency is doing. Every staff member has to been through a struggle. We don't want nobody that's there that's book smart or that got a degree. I don't want you. You can go apply at the other agencies. But that's when you run across those staff that is judgmental, that don't understand, that got comments. Like, you may look at a person and they gonna know what you're saying without you saying it. I don't want them people. And I'll call you out on it really quick. So that's what we're doing. But in the meantime, we have a food pantry that's open Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We do it Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do it after hours from 6:30 to 8:30. And we do that because there's working families. Why should a family who is already struggling have to leave work to go get some food? You can come to us when you get off of work. Even if you're running behind, we'll stay open. You just got to call us and let us know. And then we do for Saturdays for people who can't make it out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They can come Saturdays from 12:30 to 3. We don't ask you for no income verification, no proof of anything. Only thing you have to do is sign in, and that's it. We don't tell you only get one meat or one fruit. No, get what you need. Because sometimes people have big families. Sometimes when you go to food banks, that food only lasting you for lunch, and that's it. So we don't say come in and only get one thing. We don't always have a lot of food, but we have enough food to feed the people that come out. And like I said, it's always, sometimes because we pick up from like Safeway and stuff like that, we get like the family packs of meat. So it's not like just this small roll of ground beef, like you actually get the big sizes of things.
Right.
And yeah, that's what I got going on.
That's dope.
So, how long have you guys been? How long ago did this go from a hey, we got to do something to really being a thing? How long have you first been in business?
So the first year we started in 2022, like right when the pandemic was going on. And I had my wedding going on at the same time. So it was kind of like, I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it, And then I want to say like the first year was mainly like a back and forth thing, like little paperwork and all the things. Like I wanted to make sure we was registered with SAM so we could get federal grants. It was kind of like taking our time, baby steps a little bit. And I was still working at the nonprofit that I was with. And then I ended up telling the nonprofit what I was doing. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. But for me, it was hard because I'm such an honest person, and I don't ever want for people to be like, oh, she was doing this behind her back. Like, no, I wasn't, So that's where my problem laid up at. But like, I did it for like the first year. And then after that year, I want to say it maybe took 6 months. And then I started with the just the videoing, the Facebook, the sharing resources. And then once the resources hit, then we started getting food. And we didn't have a building at first. So I would call everybody who was on our team. I think you remember, Renauda, can I put some groceries in your house, please? Just for a day. And I had about 5 friends that would let me put food in their refrigerators and freezers. Of course, I would use my own. And then the next day we would pick up and we would go around all of Portland to all the tents, wherever we seen homeless people at, and we would just give them food. They literally would know my car and like run to my car when they seen it. Or we would have like the tables in the back. We'd just throw the tables up, put the food out and let them get what they want. And we would do that because at first we were getting like easy food like fruits and sandwiches, stuff that they could just go to 7-Eleven and heat up. That wouldn't be much, you know. And then once we started getting more food, that's when we were like, okay, we need a building at this point. And then Shantae from Mudbone, but now they're Freedom. She's been watching us, and she came to us and said, you know, I just got another building, but I got a contract at this building and I want to give it to you guys. And I was like, give it to us? Like, what do you mean by give it to us? Because I'm in my brain, I'm like, free, you can have pull up, you know? And that's what she meant. She gave me the keys. She didn't ask me for nothing, literally, not 2 cents, nothing, you know? The electricity was paid for. I didn't have to worry about that. When we got in, she had left us two refrigerators and a bunch of shelves and stuff, you know, so to get us started. And then my family pulled together, got us some deep freezers and an extra refrigerator, and I think a few extra shelves. And then we just been up from there. But that's what it takes, is for people like Shantae. I also work with this agency that is they're over like 5 or 6 agencies. They're called Longevity. They look out for us, you know, and we collide together, which is nice because that's what you need. So, yep, it's been a road, maybe like 3 years now.
Okay. And then, so, like, what kind of events and stuff do you do? So you talked about your Easter egg hunt, or what kind of events are you available for as well, I guess?
So the events that we do, so we have a gala coming up in October. Every year we do a back to school event. So we have free backpack, school supplies, all that kind of good stuff. We cook. We have hairstylists on site. And then we always do those two. Well, we always do the back to school event. Last year we skipped the egg hunt, but this year we brought it back because it's such a good event. Every year we also go to Eastern Oregon and we bring back the Hermiston watermelons. So that's always a good big hit that we do. We also have a event coming up called the Feast event. So what we'll do is we're going to have it catered, and we're going to talk about food insecurities. We're going to also have the Oregon Food Bank there and a few other people there to be able to talk about the issues that we have with the food insecurities. And we want people that's going to be there that's going to engage. You know, we want to let them know how it feels like for us at our food pantry, if food is old, we throw it out. We don't give it to you. If it's expired, we throwing it out, because if I'm not going to eat it, I'm not going to give it to you.
Right.
But that's also how it should be with the food banks, you know, and everybody else that's giving out food. Why are you giving out strawberries that got mold on them? Throw that away. You know what I mean? Like, it's not okay. So I think, like, when we have these discussions, I want these things to be a topic that these people know about. So we have that coming up. And then other events that we do is basically like people who is connected to us or reach out to us. Longevity, like I said, we're connected with them. So anytime anybody on our team with that comes, we try to attend their event, or we send in somebody to attend the event if we can't personally make it. And they do the same. You know, we're always included in things that they do, which is nice. But yeah, other than that, like, if people reach out to us and we're free, we'll do the event. In my mind, it's all about community building. So if we can help you out, no problem. Yeah.
So tell us about the event. Was it 3 weeks ago in East Portland at the Rockwood?
Rockwood Plaza. So it was, I forgot the name of that event, but it was through Longevity. It's always about safety, kids' safety. You know, the summer is coming up, so we want to get ahead of the problem with gang violence. And so that's what longevity does a lot of. That's their focus is, the community and making sure that our kids is safe, families is safe, community is safe. So we did an event there with them. And I believe the City Gresham sheriffs were there. It was a lot of good people there. And also the commissioner was there. Jones Dixon was there. And so, yeah, we got to speak with him. Really good person, really good guy. It was a nice event. We got a lot of food out there. We made a connection with the egg roll company that's there. Okay. They come now and get a lot of our vegetables and stuff. And so we're trying to get it to where like they can come and do an event. Rather if it's just taking a day to feed the community. So we're trying to work that out in details. But we're trying to get a few of those guys to come out and just do something for the community. I think that would be awesome.
How does somebody get your services? They just show up to your building?
Call me.
Call you? Okay.
Call me. Yeah. I'm always down to talk to somebody, figure out a way that we can help. I don't always got the answers, but I got enough people in enough places to where I could reach out and we could figure out what to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they call you on what number?
Not my personal. But our way of contacting us is through our sales. So it's 971-978-6345, or you can reach me at Shameika@usfirstorgan.org, or visit our Facebook page. People contact me on there all the time. That's Us First PDX. Or our website, www.usfirstorgan.org.
Okay. She got ways to be reached.
Not on my personal. I don't know how y'all got my personal number, but don't call me.
Somebody told somebody, hey, my friend, my cousin.
Don't do it.
You remember Mika from blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, because I will block you. Just on that phone. It's not personal.
Yeah. I mean, but you have to keep that separate. I had 2 different numbers, one for business and one for personal, and now they're the same number. And it's like, ooh,
it's hard.
I need to get another phone.
Yeah, it's hard because I think some people don't realize that we have lives outside of this. And like, I have a husband, I have children, I have a family. Mm-hmm. So when I'm cooking dinner, something that you could have waited to tell me the next day could wait till that next day.
Right.
And just think about it. Like, if that was you, wouldn't you want some personal space sometime, Or I have some people that call me at 2:00 in the morning. No, baby. No. I'm an early bird. By 9:30, 10 o'clock, these eyes are shutting. Mm-hmm. I'm not up that late. So, yeah.
I think
get you another phone.
People don't think about how many people could possibly be calling you with the same energy or problems or whatever. Like I don't answer. My phone is on do not disturb.
Yeah, I know, and I don't like it.
I wasn't gonna say. I was like, "Ooh, let me stop." But the reason being is like what I do, right? So people are calling and texting and emailing and teamsing and hey Renauda all day long, 5 days a week. Then I get home and it's mom. And so I'm like, no phone. No. Like, now people like Shameika will text me, call me. Or I'll call her, she won't answer. And then she'll like, I missed your call. Now I can't call you back. And like, but it's not personal. Like, the only people who can get through are people who literally have my kids usually for some reason at some point. And then my kids because they got to be able to get through. But it just be, I mean, that was the way I could draw that line, set that barrier, because otherwise, if I didn't, I'm going to be on my phone answering to everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Allergies are kicking my butt. But I don't know. I'm sorry. Everybody's mad. I'm not taking it off. Do not disturb. Y'all just got to text me. And when I see it, I'll call.
No, yeah, I get it.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah. I've been doing better because I'm just like, I don't jump when somebody calls and say jump.
Yeah.
Don't call me and say, can you get on a meeting in 5 minutes? No, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at home with my kids. I'm taking care of my responsibility outside of work right now. This is important to me. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing because you failed to plan ahead. If you want me to be on something, give me notice.
Right.
Yes.
Not 5-minute notice, not a day notice. You know, when you plan to have that meeting, let me know then if you want me to be there. Don't call and ask me to get on at the last minute because chances of me remembering, for one, is very slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm focused on my kids and, my house, and I got things to do. Or I'm tired. It's interesting how many people want to fill up your blank space, or what they feel is, well, you ain't doing nothing. No. I'm not doing nothing for somebody else, but I'm doing something for me right now.
Right.
I'm resting, or I'm catching up on sleep, or I just need to sit down.
Right. And it might be nothing to you, but it's something to me. Me doing nothing is something
It's for
to me. Like
myself.
it's legit a thing for me.
Yeah.
Like doing nothing, because I do so much. You do so much. Right? So when you take that time to do nothing, because let's just keep it real. We're not, our brains are still entrepreneuring in here. So it just means I might not physically be doing anything, but I'm sitting here in my head planning events, going over how the last ones went. How do I want to expand my business or my brand or whatever? That's what I'm doing when I'm relaxing.
Mm-hmm. And
doing
never stops.
nothing.
Entrepreneurs, their brain never stops, literally.
You don't have, because you can't. You like, until you get to a point to where you have X amount of people working under you and it's moving how it moves, and you don't really have to worry about it except to go look at it real quick. Like, yep, it's still doing what I want it to do. Like, and then the type of businesses like we're in, it's going to take a minute before we're comfortable being like, okay, I trust you to run my brand how, you know what I'm saying, I want it to be ran. Like, you know what I'm saying, make the things how I want them made, present things how I want them presented, and, care for the community how I want them cared for. It takes a little bit to let go of that. You know what I'm saying? So that nothing time is important to grow ourselves so we can do what we want to do ultimately for ourselves and our families. So it's annoying to me when people are like, well, you're not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing for you, like you said. I'm not doing nothing for nobody else. Or in your eyes, it might not be nothing. But then when I do the next thing, you like, when was you working on that? Or when did you plan that? When I was doing nothing. So, yeah, I get that. That's annoying.
I think that you made a good point when you said that we will be comfortable with somebody else doing our brand. And honestly, for me, just for me personally, I don't think I'll ever feel that, because that means that you would have to fully trust. And I don't.
You might one day. It might be your kids. Don't do that.
I don't. It's hard because even in this field, even if you have the people that went through the struggle, and I'm just saying this because I have a lot of volunteers. I have a lot of people that come through working with us, and I pay attention to a lot of stuff, whether if you on my board, whether if you my staff, whether who you are, I pay attention. I may not be looking at you. I may not say nothing, but best believe I hear you. And I think just that alone, I watch people's tone. I watch people's comments. Like, just maybe a few months ago, I had a girl tell me she was going to have to check me. Girl? Like, what? But it's like, you're upset because I want you to treat people a certain kind of way. And regardless if that person is orange, purple, blue, or pink, it's still a respect thing for me. And especially like when it comes to our community, I don't think people know how important that is. But we need each other, especially in these times. And it's like going over people's head, So for me, I think that's a hard one. That's a real hard one.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's your journey to be to a space where you cannot be over everyday operations,
Mm-hmm.
the right people are going to come in where they're needed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To help. I feel like you like whatever.
No, I hope for that to happen. I really
You
do.
just don't see it right.
I
there.
just
Yeah,
don't.
and I get it because
Yeah.
I respond the same way if somebody was. I do that all the time.
And
I
I'm
let people
always
tell me what
giving
they
people.
gonna say, and but anyway,
And I always give people that side eye, like, I see you, you know. But I mean, of course, you know, people ain't gonna be 100% you, you know.
Right.
But I can say I do have some people that I can call on, and they gonna be good where they at, you know. I do got some good hitters, you know. That's always a plus. I got some good people that I know for a fact loves our community. And if I call them and be like, hey, I need you to be a manager, come on over here, they coming. And it's only because they know how I am. They understand me. They understand when I'm saying something, I'm saying it, and I'm saying it for a reason. So it maybe. I don't want to
said all that to say maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I ain't gonna give up, but it's hard.
Yeah,
it's extremely.
It's just too
hard.
early.
It's way too early.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you saying like, so let's say it's too big for you to do day to day, and
Nothing's too
you
big.
not. So let's say it's too big for you to do the day to day operations on your own.
Okay.
So what you gonna do if you don't trust nobody else to do it? You just gonna be like, you know what? Okay, thanks us first. This has been great. We're done now because it's too big.
I'll let somebody come, but I'm gonna watch you the whole time.
Oh my God!
These headlights
you might as well
is gonna
do it
be
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Which okay,
I'll try. It's just like I said, it's hard because you didn't seen so many of our own people treat people like they should not be treated, you know? And so they have kind of paved the way, you know, and you've seen it's a lot when you work in nonprofits, it's a lot that you see. And you know that. You know, I didn't work in all Black nonprofit. I didn't work in Native nonprofit, and trust me, it's a lot. And, you know, it's the behind the scenes that other people don't know about that we know. And it makes you look, it makes your eyes be very wide. And if they run across people like that, I know I am, you know, so it's just hard, but we're going to get there.
I know. Look, trust me, I know. I set up a room last night, and the way people set up the chairs that was helping, I was like, and that's just chairs. So, you know, when it comes to people, you know, I get it, but it's just, you know, when you do your thing, you want it done a certain way, and people were helping, and it was really nice because my back was really hurting, but I was just okay, you got in the gist of the area. I'm just going to use my knees to move this chair over here, like where I said, but you know, it's cool. You got the general area. It's all good. But no, I get it. And setup situation changed for our, for my event, yesterday. And so Donald and my friend came and brought everything from downstairs because them Shanghai tunnels, trying to get things from the Shanghai tunnel basements upstairs was not going to happen for me by myself. So anyway, I had to go do something. I asked Donald, can you put these tablecloths on real quick? Now they just, you know, the disposable tablecloths. So all you got to do is just open them up and put them on there. And I came back and all of them was going like this. And I was like, oh my, thank you. Thank you so much for your help. But he was worked. My friend didn't let him just sit there. He was like, no, come on, let's go. We going down here, back up, down here, back up. By the time Kennitha got there,
he was on the couch like this. Knocked out. Knocked out. I was like, is that Donald?
We was sitting there talking about him for a good 5 minutes.
He woke up. Oh, I was asleep. Oh, Okay.
He was come out. My
She
baby
like,
was
"What's
not
going on
on
with you?"
earth.
I said, "He
I
just
was
woke
like,
up."
no, like, he rejoined his body. He was not there. He was
Right.
exhausted. But and they like, where you want the tables? And I'm like, here, 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 and here. Then they put them there, and I'm like, not there. So like, I mean, they set up, but I still was dragging stuff around, and it was you know, I had to fix the tablecloths. But you did good with the green, the beads, and the
I didn't do that.
who did that? Diamond did that?
Yes.
Oh, well, she did it.
Yeah,
she did good.
She said, "Did she want it full?" I said, "Halfway, I think." So she
yeah, see,
it looked really nice.
because you knew.
Mm-hmm.
Your direction, her action.
Yeah, she
probably the only thing that happened yesterday that I didn't have to go adjust.
Yeah.
No offense to y'all that helped me. I appreciate it. I do.
I really like the green. I like the green with those tablecloths and those. Yeah, that worked out.
And I was sitting there, I was like, it's not I'm sitting here in my head, I'm telling her it's not the right green. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Because everybody has branding colors.
He's gonna be fine.
But I was like, it's not his brand green, right? So like in my head, I was like, and then she was like, he don't care about what color green it is. And I was like, just in my head, stressed out. But I think that combination of that green,
nice.
the other green, and the light, it just kind of brought it all together. So I was like, well, I like how it looks. And then I didn't even ask him.
Right.
I was just like, he just gonna deal with these. Him as in her husband.
Yeah.
I was like, he just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
He was.
It looked good.
Cared like that. He didn't even say nothing about him. I don't even know if he's singing them. Those tables probably didn't even exist to him.
But it was important to you.
It was. It was very important to me. And I was just like, okay, I like how that looked. But
I was laughing at myself because as you talking about, as they was putting the chairs in a row, I'm a very OCD person. And so I'm like, those chairs are so close. Like nobody can even get in between the chairs. How is that gonna work out if we don't want people going this way or that way? So after they put the chairs, I'm all adjusting everyone and spacing them out and making sure I can get in between and then go to the next row. And I'm laughing at myself because I'm like, I'm just being me. I ain't care what nobody else said. If she would have came and moved it, I might have moved it back, even though it was her.
No, but our OCD aligns with stuff like that. So it's like,
I was like, cool. Okay, move these chairs.
I get what you're saying because I'm like that at the pantry. Sorry, guys, but when they put the food in and they leave, I go back and I rearrange it. And I'm like, you could have got more in this refrigerator if you would have just stacked it right. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. You got to know how to put it in there. And they wasn't putting it in there right. And next thing you know, the refrigerator can't close right. I'm like, oh.
And some people don't even try to figure out why.
I will take everything out that I just put
crazy.
in there, look at it again, look in the space and be like, okay.
And then
maybe they didn't play Tetris.
Space in between. I'm like, hey, a sandwich could have went there. Right. Like, what are you doing?
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely one of them people. That's what I mean when we pack our, we be having them big plastic tubs and stuff. That's what we carry everything in. And so when I leave a paint and sip, I don't have more stuff than what I came with. So I'm like,
it should still fit in there.
It should still go in here the way that it went in there, but actually better because there's some stuff that's not here anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So what the hell is going on? I sat there and repacked that tub like 4 times. And I'm like, it's the same stuff.
Oh, one big thing was those tablecloths were brand new. And you know how they come packaged brand new? They're nice and flat.
And
that is, I mean, but I got that in there. I got that on that side and squished down. But the rest of it,
they weren't as flat as they were when they first came because I had to kind of fold them up, but I didn't.
It's fine. But it was stressing me out a little bit. Then I was like, how the hell am I gonna get this in my car? I be forgetting them who the guys are around us on a regular basis. And Kennitha and I both we're the people, like you, like I'm just gonna do it. And they will like it's almost like they will sooner clothesline you than let you pick up some heavy shit and go put it up yourself. And that's how I was feeling all day yesterday because I kept being told, why would you pick that up? Why are you doing that? Put that down. Don't touch this.
What?
And I'm like,
somebody said that to you?
Yeah, I don't know why.
She's sitting here saying that to me the whole time. I can't pick up a chair. I can't move a table.
It was a heavy table.
Listen now.
Both of us are sitting here with hurt backs, right?
I'm like, so I can move a chair. Leave
that
me
was
alone.
me. I was trying.
She was the one. Don't you touch that. And then every time I do it, she like rolling her eyes, giving me all the attitude. And I'm
People
just
was
like,
doing that
okay,
all
I'm
day.
gonna move a
And I was
chair.
like, that's what I kept doing. I'm just going to wait. Because she was like, yeah, y'all don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing. Then he went back to it and I started moving that chair. And I was like, it just will be faster.
Right.
Because just telling people, it's like, oh, can you put that right there? Then they put it right there. Then I got to go over there and put it right there where I meant. Or do I got to come over and be like, can you put it right here?
Mm-hmm. Right here, where my foot is. I want the round base right here.
I'm going to leave my foot here until you put it there.
Center.
But then it ain't got nothing to do with them because they help it and they putting it in the area. It's the brain in here that's like,
yeah,
that's not where I meant. I meant 6 inches over that way. But I'm not going to let my crazy rub off on you.
The only reason I stayed so late last night because I had this tub. I got my candles in this tub. I don't know why I brought that tub, but it had all the canvases in it. And I'm like, okay, I know I shouldn't take this. I brought it in and that was enough.
Which I didn't know until she got in there with it.
But I knew they weren't going to let me leave out with it.
Yeah.
So I had to wait until somebody was available and stop moving all this other stuff so they could take it to my car because I was ready to go home.
No, me too. But I knew that if I tried to pick the paint and sip tub up, it was going to be a problem.
Doing this, and the guys was moving stuff downstairs, so I just sat down and waited. And then finally, when he was sitting, I said, "Can you do me a favor? Can you pick this up and take it to my car?" He said, "You just been sitting and waiting for that." I was like, "Yes, but but thank you, I appreciate it." Anyway,
I don't know. We be having crazy conversations because the conversation about the 4 guys and the 2 chicks. Was it 2 chicks ahead of them that walked by us?
It was
and
3.
I was like, they're not.
It was 3 chicks.
So the guys had made a comment about how the women who just walked by us was a lot safer because there was 4 guys behind them. And I was like, I mean, I guess.
She said,
right, maybe. Right. And he was like, what? And I was like, them against y'all does not make them women any safer. And it was funny because Ashay was like, wow, Renauda. Like I was saying that they was just going to go beat up those guys for no reason. I'm like, I'm not saying that. And then G was like, then he caught on and was like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like us against them in general, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to win or whatever. It was just like a funny random conversation because I was like it was nice of him to say what he said. And I was just like,
he was saying they safer than not having somebody behind them.
Right. And then I was just like, Kennitha's the only one that got it immediately because I was like, basically, I'm saying, I don't think they're
They ain't going to do nothing.
Yeah, they ain't any more safe just because they're there.
Right.
Sheer numbers is not, whatever. Just the way that I seen it, it just everybody looked like they was the same.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm like, what was our topic?
It was something about comparisons. I didn't forgot again. We talked about
breaking free from comparison, the journey to self-acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. When you think of comparisons, I think you think of, like yourself versus a like thing, like woman against woman or black person against black person or whatever. But I think comparisons that I have struggled with haven't been like a person per se. It's been more like the idea of what I'm supposed to be, you know, growing up with that good girl complex and perfectionist complex, all these complexes I got and ain't nobody paying rent. But you know what I'm saying? The me against the idea, right? And then what that looks like. People say, oh, you know, it's not ladylike to do this, or, you know, good people don't do this, or blah, blah, blah. And not necessarily embodied into one person, but in the idea of what it's supposed to look like to be what I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then what, not even necessarily what I am to me, but what I am as in what other people see when they look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like a black woman is supposed to be like XYZ. And then so I'm comparing myself to what people feel like the most excellent norm. Black. Yeah. I think that has been my thing. But I've always been a weird person. You know what I'm saying? Like I like, you know, I was wearing colorful hair before it was a cool thing to do up here. You know what I'm saying? For black people. Right? Because in the South, they was always wearing colorful hair. But up here, if you was black and you wore colorful hair, other than maybe using some Kool-Aid, it rinse the red or whatever, um, you was trying to be like a punk rocker or whatever, and they like, you can't be nerdy, you can't be this, you can't be that. What you should be is going to church every Sunday and wearing your hair a certain way and dating certain types of guys and dressing a certain way. And none of that was me.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time where I was trying to be that, because if you're not that, then you're a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At least that's how they make it seem. I don't know who they are, but they are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, and then, obviously once you get into 40, you just be like, fuck all that shit. But I feel like I've always kind of pushed against it, but coming into 40, again, we talk about this a lot, like, once we turn 40 and now, and this year I'll be 43, so I'm very professional with, I don't give a fuck what you think, how you feel. You don't like my hair, you don't like my clothes, you don't like my personality.
Oh, well.
I don't know what to tell you.
I just keep it to yourself.
I got friends. They like me. And if they decide they don't like me, that's cool. I like me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's been my big comparison thing through my life, other than other people comparing me to stuff that, like my aunt did, from putting me and my cousin against each other our whole lives, basically. That was traumatizing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I realized that as an adult, like, that she was doing that whole time. So
right,
working through that has been fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see comparisons everywhere. I mean, I think when I think of comparisons, one thing that drives me crazy is when people are complaining about what somebody else got to do versus what they got to do, or what they get to do, or what they are doing versus what I'm able to do. And it's like, that drives me crazy, because I'm like, why are you so worried about what somebody else is doing? Worry about yourself. You don't know why they get to do that, or why, why it's important for them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so focused on, but I don't get to do that? Well, because you're not them.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Those comparisons, I see them at work all the time. I see them when people are worried about what I'm doing, and I'm always like, why? Because I don't give a damn what you're doing.
Right,
what you're doing. I mean, what you're doing is what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You getting paid for whatever you're doing. If it's what you're supposed to do or not, I don't care. I'm not your boss.
Right.
So why is anybody asking what Kennitha is doing? That drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kennitha Black.
That's possibly a lot of why that happens at work. Because, I'm the only one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, it just sit down and watch people, and it's like, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that my office away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy I can come in and go here and go do my work. I work through lunch. I don't take breaks. I'm focused on this, or let me think about that, or, I like my quiet space so I can really do what I'm doing. Because, it's just, I just need that space. But don't be worried about, I'm not worried about what you're doing. Don't worry about Kennitha. That's one of the biggest things I think that I see all the time, or the kids. How come so-and-so get to do that? Well, they are a different person.
It's
you
not
are a different
fair.
person.
You always let so-and-so.
Life is not about fair. Because when I think about my experience in life, and I think about the next person's experience in life, we all have different experiences. I have experienced things that somebody could never even imagine having to deal with, right? But every day I got to get up and go to work and still move on. And if you had to deal with this, there's no way you'd be functioning the way you are. So don't worry about what I'm doing, because I'm fine. I'm handling it. And you ain't got to worry about this. I'm not worried about you. Don't compare my life to yours. We two different people. And that's okay.
I think when it comes to comparing, for me, it's deeper than that. I think that it's a part of jealousy. I think it's a part of low self-esteem. And I think that it's more of a you issue.
It definitely is.
Yeah. So for me, I don't do the compare, like, I'm just grateful and happy for everybody.
Right.
And I just think that that's something that people individually need to work on. You're right. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. It's one thing to give somebody their credit, but it's something else to be like, because when you start comparing, that's throwing that shade. Like, you sound crazy. Why are you jealous of that person? You know, and that's what, for me, that's what I think of when I think of comparing. You know, I think of people that's envious of you, people that's jealous of you. Like, it's so much out here to go around. We can all have it, you know? So that's what I think of.
I just don't understand why, like, what is it about your personality that makes that a thing, right? Because it's not a thing for me. I do not compare myself to other people like that. Like, I might, I have my jokes where, like, I read a meme a long time ago about, you out here being a good girl and all these hoes have husbands and blah, 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 right? Because they did what they wanted to do and they still ended up where you were told, what I'm saying? If you do all this, it's not gonna blah, 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 and you're not married. I'm like, I've done that jokingly or whatever, but it's never in my mind to sit back and like, dang, Mika got this and that, and all I got is this and that. Like, why?
Why?
I mean, everybody has their points where there's questions like, dang, I'm working really hard. When is it my turn to get to another level? But not like, dang, so-and-so. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But those are also people who are your friends who end up secretly hating on you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Those people who are stuck in them comparison patterns. And it just reminded me because I was thinking about how me and Ari, we both did a situation where we got jobs, right? Like new jobs or whatever. And it was a level up from our last positions. And then because of that, we both got new cars. And not brand new off the lot cars, but new to us cars. And we were super excited. And then like the next thing, we moved to a place that was more suitable for us. And like it was just like bam, bam, back and forth. Like we were just playing tennis, like your turn, your turn, your turn. And we had people in our circle like really legit just so upset, and like who had brand new cars, who had decent jobs, or was looking, whatever, it just wasn't your turn or like whatever. And we sitting there like, what? Every time something come up for me, she's happy for me, excited like it happened to her, and vice versa. But we had people in our circle who was just, how's she always doing this? Who helped her get that? Blah, blah, blah. Ain't nobody doing this for me. And it's like, well, first of all, we both did those things for ourselves. But second of all, like, why is that a thing? Like, why are y'all really sitting here talking about this and having this conversation?
Because they already looked at you like they was above you.
I know.
And they wanted you to stay in that position where you was beneath them.
Exactly.
But one thing about a hustler, baby, you can never, ever take that away from them.
I mean, ever.
And all they gonna do is level up because they too hungry for it and they want it. And that's what they gonna get, Nothing comes to a sleeper
but a dream.
And that's all.
That is crazy. We coming up on our hour. So this is the part I forgot to tell you. So at the end of the podcast, we all give a gem, which is, reflection on what we talked about or whatever good game you decide you want to share with people or information, insight, whatever. Take a good, 60 seconds or whatever to give your gem, and one of us will go, you'll go, or however, and then we say peace to the people.
All right.
Either one of y'all ready?
Oh, my gem. Yeah, mine is gonna be listen. Sometimes we have a lot of self-doubt, and I know, as far as this art thing goes for me, like I've always had the ability, but I've never really given myself the space and the time to kind of work on it. And the more and more I do it, the more comfortable I get, and the easier it is, and the better. But listening to other folks with their inspiration on how to get to the next level, like those little things, just listen to them, follow that. Because sometimes we don't really know, or we have a lot of self-doubt. I know I do with a little bit. I'm always in my head about everything. And, so those little nuggets or those little pushes that people give you, sometimes it could be uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if I could do that. But you know what? You got to just kind of, if somebody sees it in you, it's for a reason. And so listen to that, lean into it. And, it's just the beginning of the next level once you move in that direction, I think. So that's my gem. listen to those little shoves. Let people push you around.
I pushed her. I was like, "Can't you draw?" She was like, "How'd she know that?"
I was like, "Girl, what? How you know?"
Because I'll be paying attention. I am bouncing back and forth between two gyms real quick. I'm gonna just do both of them.
All right.
I'm gonna make them quick. So the first one kind of piggybacks off of yours. Sometimes you have people who are on the outside, the outside of your inside circle, right?
Yes.
But they're inner circle for you, but not your inner circle. And sometimes, those folks can see things that you can't see, and they're gonna offer advice if they love you and care about you. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable, but sometimes you have to like take heed. You have to listen to what they're saying because they're seeing it differently than you, right? Like if we all been best friends since kindergarten, and one of us gets a new friend who's a great friend, no hating, no problems, no this, that, and the other. And they're like, you notice how Renauda always go like this every time you give good news? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's something you might not notice because it's very subtle. That can be uncomfortable because it's like, no, we've been since the sandbox. You know what I'm saying? So I had a moment like that this week where somebody said something to me that had me kind of pull back and kind of evaluate some things. But with that, I guess it's kind of hand in hand the other part of my other gym. So listen to those people. I'm not saying they're always right, but maybe take some time to,
Consider.
Analyze and, if they're coming from a good space. But on the flip side of that, we're talking about the people who are with the comparisons. Look, watch them people, you know what I'm saying, in your circle. If they're always comparing and complaining and this and that, like my mom used to say, somebody who's talking about everybody else to you is talking about you to everybody else. So if they're sitting there with that energy of nothing's ever right, nothing's ever good, nothing ever this, that for them, why is it always for them? They're looking at you in your situation the same way too. And then if you're not doing anything better, that's the only reason why in their minds you're not doing anything better than them. That's the only reason why they're not talking about you. And they friends, they miserable.
Very. I would say mine would be to follow your heart and never give up on yourself. Because when you stop, the person, it ain't everybody else that gave up on you, it's you giving up on you.
Yeah.
So follow your heart, keep going, keep pushing, stay 10 toes down, do what it do. And you're going to get results. Even with 50 doors that shut in your face, it's going to be a yes somewhere. So keep moving.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Yes, thank
this
you.
This has been a good conversation. Yeah, you're gonna have to come back.
I got you.
Come back.
Yeah.
Chill and talk with us.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. Well, thank you for joining us on Talk to Them,
where every story counts and every voice matters.
All right. Bye.